Shining in the Darkness is a culprit of several things. It contains a storyline that's as cliche as it is timeless, it's one of the earliest examples of a PC-style RPG on a console, and it's the predecessor to the classic Shining Force 1 and 2. But the fact that Shining in the Darkness marks the beginning of Sega's long-running Shining franchise isn't the only reason it's special. What made Shining in the Darkness so unique is the fact that it's a first-person, team-based dungeon crawler, which was simply something new and exciting to consoles. At the time, I didn't know that people had already been enjoying games like these on computers for years with titles like Eye of the Beholder and Blood Witch, but for a Sega gamer, it was groundbreaking with a fresh style of gameplay. But I digress, we're not here to talk history, we're here to review Shining in the Darkness for the SEGA Genesis. So what makes this Sega exclusive role-playing game a great dungeon crawler? Well, first off, it has a story unlike anything you've ever heard anywhere, ever. Now get this, it turns out that a princess, has been kidnapped and then was taken to a dangerous labyrinth, and it's up to you to find her. I know, right? First time for everything. So this guy, Dark Soul, has taken Princess Jessica and demands for the kingdom for her return. So your character's also looking for their father, who's gone missing, presumably in the same dungeon where the princess is being held. So you set off to face the perils that Dark Soul has lying in wait, but this is a team-based RPG, so you don't have to venture into the dangerous dungeons alone. It won't take long before you're teamed up with the feisty elf mage Pyra and the shifty-eyebrowed cleric Milo. And you'll need the extra help too, because these dungeons are tough, and they really put the word labyrinth to the test. It's easy to get lost since there's no map, so you better break off the grid paper. I know I did. While scouring the stone walkways of the dreaded fortress, you'll run into an assortment of enemies, and this game has one of the strangest ensembles of enemies I've ever seen anywhere. There are the expected dungeon crawler monsters like cave slime and giant insects, but then there are the atypical creatures like what appears to be an ape in sunglasses, or this little Christmas moon thing with genie slippers on. I just don't know. Cohesive or not, the different monsters will bring a slew of separate characteristics to combat to keep it interesting. And the combat is a traditional turn-based affair where encounters trigger randomly while moving, but in those mechanics lie the biggest gripe I have with the game. Enemy encounters happen too frequently, and as a result, it turns the simple act of exploring or puzzle solving into a tedious chore, when all you want to do is look around to find what to do next or where to go. This makes for a slow pace of progression through the story of the game, but it does lead to a lot of money and level ups, which are a requirement to move forward as well. So it's kind of a give and take. The story might progress slowly, but at the end of the day, Shining in the Darkness still looks and plays great. It doesn't have some of the depth that its early 90s counterparts might have, like group formation or class creation, but Shining in the Darkness is more accessible because of it, and it's an enjoyable game. A game that was a beacon of hope in a dark console gaming world in desperate need of some good role-playing adventures. And Shining in the Darkness was there to light the way.